Hi everyone, we are still busy with our June exam paper 1 2025 and we are still busy with question 4.2. The simultaneous equation solve for x and y and the following simultaneous equation 3x plus 2y and 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 19. In our previous example or previous video, we looked at this problem in terms of the elimination method or method of elimination. We are now going to look at the same problem using substitution. So I've got the same equations here, equation A and B. So from these two equations, I'm going to select equation A and I'm going to write either the x or y variable in terms of the other variable and everything else that's in that equation. And what I mean by this is let's just write from A. I'm going to choose y here as my variable that I'm going to write in terms of everything else, or in terms of x. I'm going to write y in terms of x, and that means I'm going to isolate y on the left hand side. So 2y is equal to 4 minus 3x, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 2 so I can get y by itself, or isolate y. So y is equal to 4 divided by 2, which is 2 minus 3x over 2, and we're going to call this equation C. Now at this point, what I've done is I've isolated y in terms of everything else on the right hand side, because now I can use this equation, this expression for y, and substitute it into equation B wherever I see a y, and in that way I've sort of eliminated the y and I can then solve for x. So this is kind of elimination through substitution, if you will. The reason why we try and avoid substitution sometimes, especially in grade 10 when you start doing this, is because you want to avoid working with fractions, but unfortunately that will become more and more unavoidable, especially if you go into grade 11 and grade 12, where you're kind of going to be forced at times to use substitution, because elimination in certain types of equations will not be possible. Okay, but in this case, let's just continue here. So now I'm going to take equation C and I'm going to substitute it into B. So I will write C into B, or you can write substitute C into B, whatever, as long as you indicate that that is what you're going to be doing here now. So if I take equation B, I've got 2x minus 3, and y now is going to be written as 2 minus 3x over 2 is equal to negative 19. And now I'm simply going to I'm going to have to simplify this equation and solve for x, because y has been eliminated through that substitution. So I've got 2x minus, I've got negative 3 times 2, which will give me negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 3x over 2 will be a positive answer. That will be 9. That will be 9x over 2, and that will be equal to negative 19. So now again, remember, we don't like to work with fractions in our equation, so we're just going to multiply all the way through with 2 to get rid of that denominator of 2. So I'll multiply by 2 in this case here at this step. So 2x times 2 is 4x, 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, that will then be 9x, gone with the 2, and that will be negative, that is 19 times 2 is 38. And then simplify, I've got negative 38 plus 12, what is that, negative 38 plus 12 is negative 26 on the right hand side. At this point you really need to be careful with your signs, taking things over or adding and subtracting. The signs is what's going to throw you out here. And then on the left hand side I've got 4x plus 9x, that's 13x. So dividing both sides by 13, I've got x on the left, and negative 26 divided by 13 gives us negative 2. And just to check from our previous example, we found x equal to negative 2, if you can remember, so we're on the right track here. So now I'm going to take x equal to negative 2, and I'm going to substitute it into it will usually be the new one that you created a bit earlier, because to find y, you've already written y in terms of everything else, so this would be the most convenient equation to use to substitute x into. So we're going to do that quickly. So we're going to say x equals -2 into equation C. So equation C says the following. I've got y is equal to, what was that, 2, so that's 2 minus 3x, but that's now -2 over 2. So that is 2 minus, that's -6 over 2. And that is 2 minus -6 divided by 2 is -3. Careful of the signs here again. So y is equal to 2 minus -3, which is, of course, 2 plus 3, which is 5. And that is what we got in our previous example or approach with elimination as well. So y is equal to 5, x equal to -2. And here x equals -2, y equal to 5, same answer.